Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Friday. Friday the 21st. Chip is out this week, so I've been pretending to be city administrator.
You're back to 2 jobs again?
Back to 2 jobs, thanks. Yeah, I had 2 weeks of only doing 1 job, and now I'm back to 2 jobs. But Chip will be back on Monday, so everybody will be done with me then, thankfully. So good morning, happy Friday, sun shining outside, no storms planned for this weekend, so that's good. A couple of quick updates, and then I want to hear what you have to say, Anna. You've been here, this is the end of your 3rd week now.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm excited to hear how that's been going. I know how it's been going, but I want to hear it for everybody. A couple quick updates. So we're wrapping up the San Antonio pathway. That's at the far north end of San Antonio as you leave the city. This week, the contractor that's been working with us is wrapping their work, so we will see all the chain link fencing and green mesh go away,
Nice.
Which is going to help. And then we have a little bit of work to do. Our city crews have a little bit of work. We're installing the grape stake fencing and doing a couple little punch list items. I think we will probably work Monday and Tuesday next week to get finished. And so while our crews are out there, we'll still need some traffic control, but it'll just be much more low key than the chain link fence will be traffic delineators, and it'll go away at the end of the day. So we'll just put it up in the morning, so there will be some traffic control during the day, but then at night it'll open back up. So it'll be much less impactful next week, and by midweek next week it should be totally done, traffic flowing both ways all day long. So that's, it's actually done sooner than it was supposed to be done. So kudos to the project team. We hit our budget. We came in, sooner than it was supposed to be. So that's great. I'm really proud of everybody on that one. Big thank you to our fire department and our city crews and everyone else who was involved. We had a structure fire last week in town. It was pretty scary anytime you have a structure fire, and it was on the east side of town near Mission Trails Nature Preserve, the bottom of the canyon, which is like the worst place you could hope for. Thankfully it had been raining, so stuff was pretty wet, but the real reason nothing happened is because just like when Chief Miller was here as part of our joint presentation to council on wildfire preparedness, he told us when there's a fire here, because of that relationship with Monterey Fire, we get the full complement. It comes hard and fast. And sure enough, there was 4 engines there and 4 chiefs, and I know they had already made contact with, the Hollister Air Base just in case. So it's everything that he said, came to fruition, and they took care of it. Nothing got outside of the bounds of that house. So kudos to everybody. It was an impressive effort for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last thing I want to tell people is we've got we do it twice a year, strategic priorities workshop with the city council next week. This is where we go through the high level projects. We've got 3 new council members, so I'm excited to hear their thoughts on the process of tracking these priorities. What is a priority for us, what we should be spending our staff capacity on. So we'll have that meeting next week on Thursday, 10 a.m. over at Carpenter Hall. We've been doing it for several years now in that fashion. It's a much more free-flowing, casual type of meeting than we have here in the chambers. We really want the public to come, and when they do, we talk about every item. There can be a dialogue between the council members and staff and the public. So we encourage everyone to come. We have food. We try to entice people. There'll be some light pastries and refreshments in the morning, and we'll have sandwiches for lunch. So please come at the very least to come have lunch with us. We'd love to see you there. So that's next week, Thursday, 10 to 3. That's what I got. Anna, what's going on? How are you doing after your first 3 weeks? You going to come back next week?
I will be back next week.
Good.
And
Good.
Subsequent weeks.
Well, I hope so, for many, many weeks to come.
Yes.
Yeah.
First 3 weeks, great. This week, a little bit different because the sun is shining, and I'm not dodging pine cones or.
Yeah, you got almost hit by a pine cone.
Yeah.
Which is good luck. In Carmel.
No, I didn't know that.
It is, so congratulations.
I stepped in the way.
That's right. You should have. Yeah.
I had great meetings with the planning group, code enforcement, the front counter staff, and we'll be meeting with the building group next week.
Great.
Had an all-staff meeting yesterday. Sorry for the noise because we were
That's okay.
right under
You guys are loud, but yeah, and that's great. I mean, I know you've been doing a great job your first few weeks, and I asked you to, building those relationships, starting to talk to people in the community, getting to know your team, getting to know the other department heads, and I think you're going to continue to reach out to folks in the community. Sure. Is it okay if people reach out to you?
Yes,
okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
This week, the new commissioner on the Forest and Beach Commission reached out to me, Neil Ruda, and we were able to have, a 10-minute, 15-minute conversation, which was nice. Yesterday, I got to meet the retired Public Works Director, Bob.
Yep.
I have a lot of rubber ducks in my office, and he's like a rubber duck guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's like, I've got like over 200. And
yeah.
I'm like, I got 10.
Good. Well, I'm glad that's the key to success here is to getting to know the community, getting to know your colleagues, and I know they're gonna enjoy working with you as much as I have in the past. Speaking of Public Works, what's the scoop on the recruitment up there?
So, Mary, who is the acting director, she's doing a great job, and currently we have 24 applications to go through. So hopefully that'll be a successful.
Great. So we just need to spend some time reviewing them. That's actually on my to-do list today, is to go through those. So we'll go through those, and like we talked about when we introduced all the new employees, we're not settling for anything less than the best. So we're going to go through those with a fine-tooth comb and try to find the right person to come and be part of our village with us. What else you got going on?
Before I get into business, I do want to mention I was able to take a walk up to the farmer's market yesterday. The food looked really good.
Yeah.
Smelled very yummy.
Good.
They had great products like fresh flowers and vegetables.
Yeah,
so
that's a
it's
great
nice.
place to meet people too. So I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Other than that, for next week, there are a couple of things I do want to mention. There is a special planning commission meeting, and that will be a workshop to discuss code amendments that would be required to implement the housing element. So I would encourage, the public to meet us here or join via Zoom.
Yeah.
Just so they can stay in tuned.
And for people who maybe aren't living and breathing the housing element like all of us, we've got sort of two tracks going on. We're working on amending the adopted housing element to try and move the units away off of the city-owned parking lots and spread them out through the community better, so they're more likely to actually become housing units. That's one track that's going, but another track is that the planning department, under sort of like Marnie Waffles' guidance, she's been the key housing person, has been working on implementing the rest of the housing element, because it's not just the sites inventory.
Right.
There's like programs and zoning code amendments to get the housing element amended. And that's what she's been working on. And that's what this meeting's about, right? Is to talk about those specific changes in our zoning code.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's an important meeting. It's something that people should come to, and it's singular focus, right? That's all the planning commission's talking about on Tuesday?
That's it, just
Okay.
that one item.
Great, okay.
Next week, there is also a traffic safety committee meeting, which will be my first one I
That's
get to
right.
attend.
Yeah, and you're on the traffic safety committee now. Yeah. Yeah, so I think we only have a couple of items on the traffic safety committee, but it's a great meeting. It's here in the chambers, and so please come and attend. If you like going to meetings as much as we do,
Right.
please come to that. What else? Is that it?
In March, there will be a second part of the conversation for roof materials. Staff will be bringing actual real-life samples. So, it's one thing to see it on paper, but to touch it and feel it, you get a pretty good sense of what that material is going to look like.
Yeah.
And then in addition to the samples, we'll have a representative or representatives from insurance companies and the fire department.
This is going to be at the regular planning commission meeting in March.
Yes.
We'll continue that conversation. Oh, that's great. Okay, I know you and your staff are already working on putting that together, and all the physical samples, we'll have them all laid out and everything, so that's going to be great. All right, well, successful week number 3.
Yes.
Looking forward to you completing your first month already, which is wild. It's already almost been a month.
I know.
So thanks. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope everybody out there has a great weekend. You remember what we say to people?
Take good care.
Yeah, and take
Take
good
good
care.
care.
Bye.
Bye.